Welcome to the session 3 for the module 1. The topic for the module 1 is the occupational hazard and control principles. In this continuation, we'll see the laws and other related legislations on safety, health, and environment. Here, in the last session, we have seen the four main legislation, whatever the four main legislations were there. So that one we have discussed. That is the number one is the Factory Act 1948, the Mines Act 1952, the Dock Workers Act 1986 and amended in 1990, and the Building and Other Construction Works 1996. So like that, the four whatever the main legislations which are discussed in the last session. They are the legislations related to the certain substances, machinery, environment, which also address certain issues of safety and health. These status are applicable to the all sectors, including the unorganized sectors. Now here the whatever the continuation of that one, whatever the laws are there, so we can see it one by one. The first one is the Indian Boiler Act 1923, and which is again amended in 2007. Here the act is to consolidate and amend the law related to steam boilers. The whatever the Indian Boilers Regulation 1950 is again amended in 2010, and the boilers rules of the respective states. So this is all about the Indian the Boiler Act 1923. Now next, the second part is the Dangerous Machineries Regulation Act. It is 1983. This act is to provide for the regulation of trade and commerce in production, supply, distribution, and use of the product of any industry producing dangerous machineries, with a view to secure the welfare of labor operating any such machines, and for payment of the compensations for death or bodily injury suffered by any laborer while operating any such a machine, and for matter connected to their which are the incidental or to also. The act is supplemented by the Dangerous Machine Act 1984, which is amended in 2007. Then the third one is the Motor Transport Worker Act 1961, and again it is amended in 1986. This act is to provide for the welfare of the motor transport workers and to regulate the conditions of their work. The act is supplemented by the Motor Transport Workers Rules 1964. Then the fourth one is the Plantation Labor Act 1951, and again it is amended in 2010, and the rules are that they are provides for the welfare of the laborers and to regulate the conditions of the work in the plantation. Then fifth one is BD Cigar Works, the Conditions of Employment Act 1966, and again it is amended in 1993. This act actually provides for the welfare of the workers in the BD and cigar establishment, and to regulate the conditions of their work and for the matters connected to therewith. The respective state government have notified the state rules under the act. Next, the sixth one, the Shop and Commercial Establishment Act. The act enacted by the respective state governments covers items of the cleanliness, ventilation, lighting, precaution against fire, and the provision of first aid box. Now the seventh one is the Explosive Act 1884. Again it is amended in 1983. This act provides for regulating the manufacturing, possession, use, sale, transport, import and export of explosives. Also there are the rules like Explosive Rule 2008, which is amended in 2011, The static and mobile pressure vessels rules 1981 and 2016, like the gas cylinder rules 1981 and 2016, and also the ammonium nitrate rules 2012. Then the eighth one is Petroleum Act 1934. This act is consolidate the amend the laws related to the import, transport, storage, production, refining, and blending of petroleum product. Also, these are the petroleum rules in 2002. Again, it is amended in 2011, and the calcium carbide rules 1987. The ninth one is the Inflammable Substances Act 1952. An act to declare certain substances to be dangerously inflammable and to provide of the regulations of their import, transport, storage, and production by applying thereto the Petroleum Act, and the rules are under and for the certain matters connected with such regulations. Then 10th one is the Insecticide Act 1968, which is again amended in 2000. An act to regulate the import, manufacture, sale, transport, distribution, and use of insecticides with the view of to prevent the risk to human beings or animals and for the matters connected to therewith. The insecticides also means by substance specified in schedule or such other substance including fungicides, weedicides, or any such preparations containing one or more such substances as notified from time to time. There is also prohibition against the sale, storage, insecticides of certain places, which are the mentioned in the section 13 of Rule 10C, the whatever the leaflet of containing in package, so that it should inform the users under Rule 18, the use of protective clothing, Rule 39, respiratory devices, Rule 40, provision of antidotes and first aid medicines, Rule 41, and aerial spraying operations, Rule 43, and disposal of used packages, surpluses material, and washing of insecticides under Rule 44. The cautionary symbols and the word of poison has to be written on the label of the packed product. It means that every action right from start to finish of the insecticides business falls in purview of Insecticide Act 1968 and rules thereunder. Then next is the Oil Field Regulation and Development Act 1948. The act provides for the regulations of oil fields and for the development of mineral oil resources. There also the petroleum and natural gases safety in offshore operations rule 2009. Then the 12th one is the Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulation Board Act 2006. Under this act, it will provide for the establishment of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board to regulate the refining processes, storage, transport, distribution, marketing, sale of petroleum and petroleum product and natural gas, excluding the production of crude oil and the natural gas, so as to protect the interest of consumers and entities. Plus the petroleum and the natural gas, that is the appointment of a consultant which regulate under the 2000 Act. Plus the Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board, that is the technical standards and specification including safety standards for city or a local natural gas distribution network, Regulation 2008. Plus the Petroleum and Natural Gas Safety in Offshore Operations Rules 2008. Plus the Petroleum and Natural Gas Code of Practice for Emergency Response and Disaster Management Plan Regulations 2010. Then the 13th is the Environment Protection Act 1986, which is again amended in 1991. This acts provide for the protection and improvement of environment and matters connected with there. And there also the various rules which are like the Environmental Protection Rule 1986, again it is amended in 2010. The Manufacturing, Storage and Import of Hazardous Chemicals Rule 1989, which is amended in 2000. The rule for manufacture, use, import, export and storage of
Updates have been applied.
uh, hazardous microorganisms, genetically engineered organizations or shells 1989, again it is amended in 2010. This also includes the hazardous and other waste management transboundary movement rules 2016, and the next one is the chemical accidents emergency planning, preparedness and response rule 1996, the Biomedical Waste Management Rule 2016, the Recycle Plastic Manufacture and Usage 1999, again it is amended in 2003, the Noise Pollution Regulations and Control Rules 2000, again is amended in 2010, the Ozone Depletion Substances Regulations and Control Rule 2000, again it is amended in 2007, the Solid Waste Management Rules 2016, the Construction and Demolition Waste Management Rules 2016, the Batteries Management and Handling Rule 2001, and again it is amended in 2010, the Environmental Impact Assessment Notification 2006, again it is amended in 2013, the Plastic Waste Management Rules 2016, the E-Waste Management Rule 2016, the Coastal Regulation Zone Notification 2011. So like that, it includes in the Environmental Protection Act 1986. Now the 14th is the Water Prevention and Control Cess Act 1977, and which is amended in 2003. So according to this act, it will provide for the levy and collections of the cess on water consumed by persons carrying or certain industries and by local authorities with the view to augment the resources of the central board and state board for the prevention and control of water pollution constituted under Water Prevention and Control Pollution Act 1974 and the Water Prevention and Control Pollution Cess Rule 1978. Next, the 15th is the Air Preventive and the Control of the Pollution Act 1981. Again, it is amended in 1987. According to this act, will provide for the prevention, control and abatement of air pollutions for the establishment with a view to carry out the aforesaid purposes of the boards for the confirming on the assigning to such boards powers and functioning related to thereto, and for the matters connected therewith, the Air Prevention Control Pollution Rule 1982. Then the 16th is the Public Liability Insurance Act 1991. Again, it is amended in 1992. This act will provide for the public liability insurance for the purpose for providing immediate relief to the persons affected by the accident occurring while handling any hazardous substances and for matters connected to therewith or incidents thereto. Then the 17th is the National Green Tribunal Act 2010. According to this act, it is effective and expeditious disposal of the cases related to environmental protection and conservation of forest and other natural resources and giving relief and compensations for damage to the persons and the property. Then 18th, the Motor Vehicle Act 1988, again it is amended in 2013, and this act is to consolidate amend the law related to the motor vehicles plus the Central Motor Vehicle Rule 1989, again it is amended in 2005, and the motor vehicle rules of respective states. Then the 19th is the Atomic Energy Act 1962, amended in 1987. According to this act, is providing for the development, control and use of atomic energy for the welfare of the people of India and for others peaceful purposes and for matters connected to there. There also the various rules which also there for the atomic energy radiation rule, the 2004, the Atomic Energy Working Mines, Minerals and Handling Prescribed Substance Rules 1984, the Atomic Energy Safe Disposal and Radioactive Waste Rule 1987, the Atomic Energy Radiation Processing and Food Allied Products Rules 2012, then the Atomic Energy Factories Rule 1996. Now the 20th is the Electricity Act 2003. It is amended in 2007. This act is the consolidate the laws related to the generation, transmission, distribution, and trading and use of the electricity, and generally for taking measures conducive to development of the electricity industries, promoting the competitions therein, protecting the interest of the consumers and supply of electricity to all areas, rationalization of electricity tariff, ensuring the transport policies regarding the subsides, promoting of the efficient and environmentally begin policies. The whatever the constitution of the central electricity authorities, regulatory commissions, and establishment of the appellate tribunal and the matters connected with there for the incidents also. There are also certain regulations with the act. They are the Central Electricity Authority, which will take care of measuring related to the Safety and Electrical Supply Regulation 2000 Act. Then the Central Electricity Authority safety requirement for the construction, operation, and maintenance of the plants and electrical lines rule regulations 2011. Then the 21st is the Energy Conservation Act 2001, which is amended in 2010. This act will provide for the efficient use of energy and its conservations for the matter connected with or the any incidents there too. Then the 22nd is the Disaster Management Act 2005. This act will provide the effective management of the disaster for the matter connected to there or the incidents thereof. Then the 23rd is the Water Prevention Control Pollution Act. It's amended again in 1988. According to this act is providing for the prevention and control of water pollution and maintaining or restorations of the wholesomeness of the water for the establishment with a view to carry out the purpose of aforesaid of the boards for the prevention and control of water pollution, for confirming on the assessment to the such boards powers and functions related to thereto for the matters connected therewith, plus the Water Prevention and Control Rules 1975. So this is all about the whatever the laws which are pertaining to the major whatever the preventive laws are there, laws which are related to the legislations and safety and health environmental is concerned. Then next one is related to the work related accidents. So here an accident is a sequence of the parallel and consecutive events leading to a harmful sequence. Actually, the accident at a work are usually limited to those which cause personal injuries. For preventive purposes, so-called property damage accidents and near accidents are useful information sources. For example, a falling object may cause injury if it is hit someone. But if the object does not hit anyone, the event is not reported, even if the investigations of the event could be the great value. As far as the work related accident is concerned, is an accident that occur at the workplaces as a result of the work that a worker is engaged in, and accident at the workplace or the form of the occupational health hazard and that impact the workers within an organization. It impacts the individual physical and psychologically, and affects his or hers the productivity levels by making the individual insecure, uncertain about his or her surrounding, especially his or hers this workplace. The accident also impact other employees within the organization who may not have force to accident as yet, but might face it in future also. The work-related accident is therefore a specific to the workplace, and it is a visible phenomenon across all key sectors of economy, that is agriculture, manufacturing, and service sector. Although the range of degree of impact caused by the accident varies from the person to person, its overall impact is negative. The most negative or the extreme impact of accident on the individual is disability for life or death. The case of occupational related deaths occurs would have been quite high, and it includes men, women, and even children also. So with this, this is the session 3, and in this session 3 we have seen the various laws related to the legislation on safety, health, and environment, and also the brief introductions about the work related accident which may occur and what will be the consequences arises. All those things we have studied. So with this, it is concluded the third session.